Hi, Dave. I work with Mindwork Surrey, which is the Child Mental Health Service. I'm going to talk today about the resilience ball. You can see a visual for this on the screen. The resilience ball is a framework that I think is really helpful when trying to support our children and young people with their mental health and their ability to kind of grow, adapt, and overcome day-to-day challenges that we all face. Um, the resilience ball is a framework that helps us think of 5 different areas of support, 5 different things that we can make sure our children are getting so that they can thrive and grow over the course of their childhood. And it's a bit like when we think about growing a plant, the other picture on the screen. A plant might need carbon dioxide, light, water, and soil. And the resilience ball is just saying for a young person what they really need is this mix of bonding, mastery, meaning, skills, and the basics. So I hope what I'm going to go on to do, talk about each one of those blocks and what that might look like in practice. And I think that's helpful for all parents who are trying to support their young person's emotional well-being and mental health. So thinking about bonding first, bonding is all about having significant relationships, that feeling of safety in a relationship. And that's what we're kind of doing day in, day out with our every interaction. Every time we talk, we play, we listen, we show empathy or accept our kids for how they are. But we can also help with other relationships in our young person's life, so not just with ourselves as parents or carers, but encouraging friendships through play dates, encouraging connections and playfulness with broader range of family members, for example, and also out in our community, so connections to neighbours, shopkeepers, friendly people in the local community. The more of those, the better, and it's that certain quality of interaction, that way people are speaking to each other, where there's curiosity and empathy and a bit of play. Next block is about mastery. This is really about helping our children and young people have a sense of control. They have a kind of ability to have choice, for example, how they're going to approach a problem, what they're going to do next. But also a sense that if they try at something that is tricky, they'll slowly get better over time. So it's that experience of learning with practice. Again, I think this really comes from our day-to-day interactions. It's how we do teaching of any skill. Mastering tying your shoelace, for example, or buttoning up a shirt. And just giving lots of freedom around how, when we get better at those skills. Really relevant in terms of home education, the level of challenge we present in areas of the curriculum as well, kind of difficulty of the math problem, difficulty of the reading. And again, just presenting some choice for our young people and what they want to have a go at next and how they want to tackle a difficult problem. Next block is about meaning. Meaning is all about how we help our young people work out what's important to them. That could be around values. So is friendship important? Is saving the planet important? Is popularity important? Different things are important for different kids, and what we can do to support them and therefore their emotional well-being and mental health is just have lots of conversation around values, principles, things that are important to ourselves and things that might be important to them. I think also this is an opportunity to think about role models, and role models could be people found in the family, who's important to you and why, what do you admire about so-and-so. Could also be found in celebrity, who's a celebrity or a literary figure, someone from a book or a comic that you think is really cool or that you really look up to or you would like to be like. And this again, this is really helpful conversation, helps a young person understand what's important to them, but also what they would like to be like in the future. A really important question to start practicing with our young ones. What would you like to be, or how would you like to be when you're older? Next section is about skills. So many different skills that we are constantly as parents and carers trying to teach our kids to help them navigate the different challenges that life kind of throws at us. And what we can do to support our kids' mental health and emotional well-being is just sometimes explicitly teach them skills. That could be around what to do when you're feeling worried. Could be about how to add fractions. Could be about how to memorize things that you need to remember. So there's kind of a mix of emotional skills, learning skills, social skills, independent skills, all sorts of skills. And a lot of the time, these things are learnt by watching, so we can show them how it's done. We can model how we cope with our own anger or how we show manners at the table. And for some things, for some kids, it needs to be a bit more explicit. We can say, look, this is how you do it. And we can give them time and space to practice. But just having a sense of the broad range of different skills that kids need to learn at different stages of their life, and letting them kind of have opportunities to practice that in a safe way. And kind of last but not least is the basics. For a young person to feel emotionally well and mentally healthy, you need to also keep an eye on things like sleep. Are they sleeping enough? Diet. Are they eating healthy enough? They're getting what they need to grow. And also things like exercise, emotional security, and physical security. Just think, can we empathize for a young person facing the many challenges that they face? Really hard to do that and to kind of grow in response to challenge if we're tired, hungry, or feeling a little bit wobbly or vulnerable. So that's the resilience pool. I try to kind of give a couple of examples as we're going through of what we can be doing as parents and carers and educators to help our young people get what they need to grow, to thrive. Just kind of thinking about different ages of kids, thinking about adolescents in particular. I think the advice is going to be very similar. Tend to or think about bonding, mastery, meaning, skills, and the basics. I guess it might just be a little bit of additional thought, or I might give a couple of different examples around how that could be different. For teenagers, for example, for bonding, the focus is really on that relationship to peers, or there's a different task for adolescents, for teenagers. It's really important to feel connected to a peer group in addition to those safe relationships at home. So that might be about finding a group for our teenager to join, or making sure that there is a good group of friends that they're getting regular time with and feel like they can be themselves amongst. Likewise, mastery, that was about having choices and developing independence, a sense of control. Really critical at that teenager stage to have that sense of autonomy, freedom, choice, but to do so in a safe way. I think as a parent or carer of a teenager, it's trying to work out where is that boundary, or what is that new freedom that we're helping them practice. Going to the shops, traveling independently. For an older teenager, you might be thinking about vocation or work, but just making sure those opportunities are set up for them and scaffolded. So introduced in a kind of safe and then growing way. Likewise, the teenagers will have a shifting view of what's important, and just continuing to engage in that conversation. Who do you look up to? This is for meaning now. Who do you look up to? What do you think is really important? What type of person do you want to be when you're older? That key question. Kind of final note just on kind of a risk. Something that's kind of on my mind or out there in social media at the moment is the impact of technology and social media on development and mental health. And I would just put that in the kind of frame here. Social media can be really positive for many of these blocks, but it can also, when used in excess, be a bit of a risk. So just keep an eye on, is use of technology, is use of social media supporting bonding, mastery, meaning, skills, and the basics, including sleep? Or actually, is it current use taking away from your young person getting what they need, disconnecting them, or it's reducing sleep, or it's reducing opportunities to have a kind of choice and gain independence? Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the resilience ball and can cultivate a thriving young person